Okay, so we've all been there, right? In the middle of a workout, maybe pushing a little too hard, and suddenly, bam, you're seeing stars, feeling kind of woozy. It's like your body's hitting the brakes, and you're left wondering, what just happened?
Yeah, that's the not so fun side of exercise, isn't it? You think you're doing something good for yourself, and then you're suddenly on the floor seeing stars.
Exactly. And it's not just about being out of shape, is it? There's got to be more to it than that.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot more going on under the hood. It's fascinating, actually, all the things that can contribute to feeling faint during a workout.
So let's break it down then. What's actually happening inside us when we start to feel lightheaded during exercise?
Well, you can kind of think of your blood vessels like a network of highways, you know? And when you exercise, those highways widen to deliver more blood to your muscles.
Okay, makes sense. More blood to the muscles means more power, right?
Exactly. But sometimes your heart rate and breathing don't quite keep up with the demand. So even though your vessels are wide open, there's not enough pressure to push all that extra blood all the way up to your brain.
So that's the lightheadedness, like a traffic jam in our blood flow.
Exactly. And then you add dehydration to the mix, and things get even more complicated.
Right. Dehydration, I mean, we all know it's important to drink water, but how does that tie into all of this?
Well, when you're dehydrated, you simply have less blood volume overall. So now you're dealing with less blood to begin with. And on top of that, your body's having a harder time getting that blood where it needs to go.
So it's like a double whammy. Less blood and difficulty getting into the brain. No wonder we feel faint. It's like our bodies are waving a giant red flag saying, hey, we need more fluids here.
Exactly. And it's not just about feeling dizzy either. Dehydration can impact your performance, how your body regulates its temperature, and it can even drain your energy levels. It's a big deal.
Wow, okay, so our bodies are pretty complex machines, aren't they? And it seems like if we don't treat them right during exercise, they can stage a little mini revolt. But let's talk about solutions. What can we actually do to prevent this from happening?
Well, since we've established that hydration is key, let's start there. Remember, our bodies are about 60% water, so staying properly hydrated is like, I don't know, keeping the engine running smoothly, right?
Right. But how much water are we talking about here?
Mhm.
Especially when we're working out. I mean, I've heard all sorts of advice. 8 glasses a day, half your body weight in ounces. What's the real deal?
Those are good starting points. But here's the thing, don't wait until you're actually thirsty. Because by then, you're already dehydrated. It's like waiting for your car's gas light to come on before filling up. Not a great strategy.
Okay, so proactive hydration is what we're aiming for. Make water your workout buddy.
Exactly. And it's not just about how much you drink, but also when. Make sure you're hydrating before, during, and after your workout. Your body needs that constant supply to perform at its best.
Got it. So we've got hydration down. Now, what else can we do to avoid those mid-workout fainting spells?
Let's talk about pacing ourselves. It's great to push yourself, right? But pushing too hard without giving your body a chance to recover, especially during high-intensity workouts, that can really backfire.
So taking breaks is actually a good thing, not a sign of weakness.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's
Right.
essential. Those short rest periods allow your heart rate and blood pressure to kind of stabilize, preventing those big dips we talked about. It's like hitting the pause button on that rush hour traffic so everything can flow a little more smoothly.
Gotcha. Regular breaks are in. Okay, now, what about food? Should we be fueling up before a workout, or is it better to exercise on an empty stomach?
Well, I like to use this analogy. Imagine you're trying to drive a car on an empty tank. You're not going to get very far. Right, same with your body. Working out on an empty stomach can lead to a drop in blood sugar, which can make you feel weak, dizzy, and yeah, you guessed it, even faint.
Okay, so fuel the tank. What's the best way to do that before hitting the gym?
A small snack with some carbs and protein about an hour or so before you start can make a big difference. Something simple. A banana with peanut butter, a little trail mix, or a small yogurt.
All right, so far we've got hydration, pacing, and fueling. Anything else we need to add to our list?
Don't underestimate the power of a good warm-up and cool-down. Yeah, they might seem like extra steps, but they're super important for prepping your body for exercise and helping it recover afterward.
A lot of people skip those, though. How exactly do they help prevent fainting?
Well, think of it like gradually easing into and out of that rush hour traffic we talked about earlier. Warming up slowly increases your heart rate and blood flow, while cooling down allows them to return to normal, nice and easy.
This is all about those smooth transitions, huh? No slamming on the brakes or flooring the gas pedal when it comes to our workouts.
Exactly. And here's one more thing, and this might surprise you, but breathing properly is crucial. Holding your breath during exercise? Yeah, that can actually restrict blood flow and contribute to dizziness.
Whoa, seriously, I had no idea. So we should be focusing on deep, consistent breaths throughout our entire workout.
You got it. Your breath is a powerful tool, and using it correctly can not only improve your performance, but also help you stay safe.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Hydration, pacing, fueling, warming up, cooling down, and breathing. That's quite the checklist for staying safe and avoiding those fainting episodes. Is there anything else we should add?
It might seem obvious, but it's probably the most important point. Listen to your body. Don't ignore those warning signs like dizziness, lightheadedness, or feeling super fatigued.
So sometimes a little self-compassion is the best workout strategy.
Absolutely. Exercise should make you feel good, not knock you out. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're challenging yourself, but also staying safe and enjoying the process.
Well said. All right, so we've got a solid foundation here for understanding why people might faint during exercise and how to prevent it. But I'm sure there's even more to this story, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. We've just scratched the surface. There are some really interesting nuances to explore, especially when it comes to different types of exercises and how they can affect our risk.
All right, I'm ready to dive deeper. Let's keep this conversation going in part 2.
All right, welcome back. Ready to dig into some of those nuances we talked about.
Absolutely. So we've covered a lot of general tips for avoiding fainting during exercise, but I'm wondering, are there certain types of workouts that are more likely to, trigger those dizzy spells?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the answer is yes. Different activities put different kinds of stress on our bodies, and some are definitely more likely to lead to those sudden drops in blood pressure that can make us feel faint.
Okay, so which workouts should we be extra careful with?
Well, for starters, anything that involves those really quick changes in position, think like jumping jacks, burpees, or even just quickly standing up from lying down.
Yeah, I could see how the sudden movements could mess with our blood pressure.
Right, because when you change position that fast, your body has to work overtime to adjust the blood flow, make sure your brain is getting a steady supply. It's a lot to handle all at once.
And I bet holding your breath during certain exercises doesn't help either, does it?
Not at all. It's actually pretty common, especially during weightlifting. People tend to hold their breath when they're exerting force, but that can actually restrict blood flow and make you more prone to dizziness.
Okay, so next time I'm lifting, I'll remember to breathe.
Mm.
Now, are there any other types of workouts that fall into this kind of high-risk category?
Yeah, high-intensity workouts like sprinting or HIIT can be tricky too. They put a lot of demand on your cardiovascular system, and it's easy to overdo it if you're not careful.
So pacing ourselves and listening to our bodies is super important during those intense sessions.
Absolutely. And here's one that might surprise you. Exercises that involve prolonged standing.
Wait, really? Like what?
Well, think about holding certain yoga poses or even just standing for long periods during a group fitness class. It might not seem as intense as running or lifting, but it can still challenge your body's blood pressure regulation.
Huh, interesting. So we've got a pretty good list of exercises that require extra caution. But what can we actually do to stay safe if we enjoy these activities? Are there specific techniques that can help?
Oh, absolutely. Let's start with breathing again. I can't stress enough how important it is to keep that breathing pattern nice and consistent throughout your whole workout, even when things get tough.
No more holding our breath when the going gets rough. Are there any particular breathing techniques we should try?
Yeah, for things like weightlifting, try exhaling during the exertion phase when you're lifting the weight and inhaling as you lower it.
Makes sense. And what about those quick changes in position? Any breathing tips for those?
Just try to focus on keeping that breath steady even as you're moving between exercises. It can help your body adjust a little smoother. And speaking of smooth transitions, let's talk about another important strategy: gradual progression.
Right. We touched on that earlier. It's about not pushing ourselves too hard too soon.
Exactly. Whether you're brand new to exercise or just starting a new routine, it's so important to build up gradually. Don't try to go from 0 to 60 right away. Your body needs time to adapt.
So start slow and increase the intensity, duration, or frequency of those challenging workouts over time.
Exactly. And that's where listening to your body becomes even more important. Pay attention to how you're feeling during and after your workouts. If you're feeling super tired, sore, or experiencing any of those warning signs like dizziness, that's a cue to dial things back a bit, or maybe even take a rest day.
So gradual progression and listening to our bodies kind of go hand in hand. Okay, what else can we do to minimize that risk of fainting, especially during those higher risk activities?
Let's talk about core engagement. Your core muscles actually play a big role in stabilizing your body and supporting your circulatory system. So, engaging your core during exercise can help maintain that blood pressure and prevent those sudden drops.
So, for example, if I'm holding a challenging yoga pose, I should be consciously engaging my core to provide extra support.
Yep, exactly. And it's not just yoga. Actively engaging your core during pretty much any exercise can make a difference. It's like adding another layer of stability to your whole body.
Okay, core engagement, check. Anything else?
Here's one that's simple, but people often overlook it.
Avoid locking your knees.
Locking my knees. Why is that important?
Well, when you lock your knees, it can restrict blood flow to your legs, which can contribute to feeling dizzy or lightheaded.
Wow, so even when I'm just standing, I should keep a slight bend in my knees.
Exactly. It's a small tweak, but it can make a big difference for your circulation.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground when it comes to specific strategies for different types of exercise. Anything else we should be mindful of?
Well, in addition to all these techniques, it's also really important to consider the environment you're exercising in.
You mean like the temperature and humidity?
Exactly. Working out in hot and humid conditions can really stress your body out, making you more susceptible to dehydration and overheating, which, as we know, can both contribute to fainting.
Yeah, I definitely feel the difference when I'm working out on a scorching day versus a cool morning.
Right. Because in those hotter conditions, your body has to work so much harder to regulate its temperature, which leads to increased sweating, faster heart rate, and even changes in how your blood flows. It's a lot to handle.
So what can we do to kind of mitigate those risks when we are working out in the heat?
Well, first and foremost, hydration becomes even more crucial. Make sure you're really loading up on fluids before, during, and after your workouts. And consider adding some electrolytes to your drinks too to replenish those minerals you lose through sweat.
Good point. I've noticed a difference when I use those electrolyte drinks during my summer workouts.
Yeah, they can really help. And then, apart from hydration, it's also smart to choose the right clothing. Light-colored, loose-fitting clothes are your best bet to help your body breathe and stay cooler.
And I'm guessing avoiding the hottest times of the day is also a good move.
Definitely. If you can, try to schedule your workouts for the early morning or evening when it's a little cooler.
Okay, so we've got hydration, clothing, and timing. Anything else to keep in mind about exercising in the heat?
The most important thing is to really pay attention to your body's signals and adjust the intensity of your workout as needed. If you start feeling overheated, lightheaded, or dizzy, take a break, find some shade, and drink some water.
Don't try to push through it just because you had a certain workout in mind.
Exactly. Safety first, always. Sometimes modifying your workout or even taking a rest day is the smartest choice you can make.
That's a good reminder. It's easy to get caught up in our fitness goals and forget to listen to what our body's telling us.
So true. All right, I think we've covered a lot in this part, from specific exercise types to the impact of the environment. But there's one more crucial factor we need to talk about.
Okay, I'm all ears. What else is there?
Underlying medical conditions.
Oh, right. I think I remember reading that certain health issues can make people more likely to faint during exercise.
You got it. Things like heart problems, anemia, low blood sugar, and even some medications can all increase that risk of fainting, especially when you're being physically active.
So it's important to be aware of any pre-existing medical conditions we might have and talk to our doctor about how they could affect our workout routine.
Absolutely. Your doctor can give you personalized advice based on your individual health history and help you create a workout plan that's safe and effective for you.
And I imagine being honest with our doctor about any symptoms we've experienced during exercise, like dizziness or fainting, is crucial.
Totally. Sharing that information will help them figure out if any further evaluation or tweaks to your treatment plan are needed.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground in this part. From specific types of exercises to environmental factors and underlying medical conditions, it seems like there's a lot to consider when it comes to preventing fainting during workouts.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of factors at play, but that's why understanding these nuances is so important. It empowers us to make informed choices about our fitness routines and minimize that risk as much as possible.
Well, I'm ready for even more strategies and insights. Bring on part 3. All right, we're back and ready to wrap things up on this deep dive into staying safe during our workouts.
Yeah, let's finish strong. I've got some more kind of advanced strategies that can really help take your training to the next level while staying safe, of course.
Okay, I'm all ears. We've talked a lot about the what and the why of fainting during exercise, but now I'm curious about the how. How can we fine-tune our approach to really minimize that risk?
Let's talk about nutrition. We touched on fueling up before a workout, but there's a whole lot more to this story than just grabbing a quick snack.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much information out there about different diets and supplements for athletes. What's a real deal when it comes to preventing fainting?
One thing that often gets overlooked is electrolytes. You know, those minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium, they're super important for fluid balance, muscle function, nerve signaling, the whole 9 yards.
I know they're important for hydration, but how do they actually help prevent fainting?
Well, imagine your body is like a big electrical system, right? And electrolytes are those tiny conductors that keep all the signals flowing smoothly. When you sweat, you lose electrolytes, and if you don't replenish them, it can disrupt those signals, leading to fatigue, muscle cramps, even dizziness.
So it's not just about drinking enough water, it's about making sure that water is actually working effectively.
Exactly. And the amount of electrolytes you need can change depending on how intense your workout is, how long it is, even the weather.
So someone training for a marathon on a hot day would need a different approach than someone doing a light workout at home.
Yep, exactly. There are a few different ways to get those electrolytes in. Adding electrolyte-rich foods to your diet is a great place to start. Think like bananas, coconut water, leafy greens.
Those sound a lot better than those sugary sports drinks I see everywhere.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Those are good for everyday hydration, and for a lot of people, they're enough. But if you're really pushing yourself, working out for a long time, or exercising in the heat, you might want to consider supplementing with electrolyte tablets or drinks.
Okay, so electrolytes are officially on my radar now. What about the timing of our meals and snacks? Does that play a role in preventing fainting?
Big time. You want to make sure you're giving your body fuel at the right time to keep your energy levels stable and avoid those blood sugar drops that can make you feel faint.
So no big meals right before workout.
Probably not the best idea.
Mm.
If you eat a heavy meal too close to your workout, it can actually pull blood flow away from your muscles and towards your digestive system.
I can see how that would make you feel sluggish too, not exactly what you want during a workout.
Nope. Ideally, you should have those bigger meals at least 2 or 3 hours before exercising. And if you need a pre-workout snack, keep it small and easy to digest, like a piece of fruit or a handful of nuts.
Got it. So pre-workout fueling, check. What about after a workout?
Well, after you've been working hard, your body needs to refuel and repair. It's like a car that's just run a race and needs a pit stop.
Okay, so how do we give it the best pit stop possible?
Having some carbs and protein within 30 to 60 minutes after your workout is ideal. This will help replenish your energy stores, kickstart that muscle recovery, and even reduce soreness.
So something like a protein shake with a banana or a turkey sandwich on whole grain bread would do the trick.
Perfect examples. And of course, don't forget to rehydrate, drink plenty of fluids.
Hydration, check. Okay, so we've covered hydration, electrolytes, timing of our meal, that's a lot. Any other kind of advanced tips you can share for preventing fainting during workouts?
Let's talk about heart rate variability, or HRV for short.
HRV, I've heard that term before, but I'm not totally sure what it means.
Think of it like a window into your nervous system. Basically, HRV measures the tiny changes in time between each of your heartbeats.
So it's not just about how fast your heart is beating, but also how much the time between beats varies.
Exactly. And it's fascinating because even these tiny variations can tell us a lot about how recovered you are and your stress levels.
Wow, seriously, how does that work?
Well, a higher HRV usually means you're more recovered and less stressed, while a lower HRV can mean your body is under more stress or hasn't bounced back from a previous workout.
So if your HRV is consistently low, it could be a sign you're pushing too hard or not giving yourself enough time to recover.
Right, and that can definitely increase your risk of fainting during workouts. So monitoring your HRV can be really helpful in fine-tuning your training and avoiding those episodes.
That's amazing. It's like having a built-in recovery coach.
Kind of. There are all kinds of wearable devices and apps that can track your HRV so you can see how your body's responding and adjust your training accordingly.
Okay, HRV, definitely adding that to my list of things to check out. What other advanced insights do you have for us?
Something we all know is important, but often don't prioritize enough. Sleep.
Sleep. I know it's good for overall health, but how does it relate to preventing fainting during exercise?
Sleep is when your body does its most important repair and recovery work, right? Muscles rebuild, hormones rebalance, energy stores get replenished.
So if we're not getting enough sleep, our bodies might not be ready to handle the demands of a workout.
Exactly. When you're sleep deprived, your reaction time, coordination, even your decision-making can all be affected, which can lead to accidents or pushing yourself too hard.
And I imagine it can contribute to those feelings of fatigue and lower energy, making us more prone to fainting.
Absolutely. Try to aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every night. It's crucial for both physical and mental performance and for minimizing that risk of fainting during exercise.
So right up there with hydration, nutrition, and monitoring our HRV, sleep is another key pillar of a safe and effective workout routine.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's all about a holistic approach to your well-being. Considering everything that can affect how you perform and how resilient you are.
I feel like we've learned so much today, from the science behind fainting to these advanced strategies for prevention. It's been an incredible journey.
It really has. Remember, knowledge is power. And by staying informed and proactive, you can really optimize your workouts and reach those fitness goals safely and effectively.
Well said. It's been fantastic having you share your expertise with us.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to all our listeners, remember, listen to your body, take care of yourself, and enjoy the journey.
Stay safe and happy training.